since I understood what startup was, I felt part of this startup ecosystem. I started my first company at the age of 13 without really knowing what starting a company was all like. So it was not until like a little bit later that I actually, realized that that was what it is. It was the first online record business here in Denmark. Lately, I've been working for the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where I've helped Danish companies find their way to Silicon Valley, set up over there, like understanding the opportunities in an ecosystem like that. So I've kind of also had the look of the Danish ecosystem from the outside to see what we were kind of missing, because like Denmark is no Silicon Valley. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. And then I moved back home to Denmark about a year ago, and I've since then been involved with Startup City, which is our local incubator here in Aarhus that we're trying to build into an accelerator like everybody else. There are some cool things in Denmark. The Danish welfare system, everything is very well taken care of, and that means that you can basically fail with things, and then you're still good to, like, you can still live your life pretty normally without worrying about going all down the drain. But lately, I've kind of felt that that's been also a challenge, because it's been so easy here in Denmark to, like, if something happens, then whatever, just take the next train. And I've been to a couple of other startup countries, all here in Europe and around the world, and I think something happens when there's a little bit more pressure on the entrepreneurs. So one example is that I just came home from Sarajevo, where the unemployment rate is 50%. Like, whoa, that if you want a job, you need to create one. And that's not really how it is here in Denmark. Although we've been hit by the crisis too, like it's not all too bad. And hopefully that's one of the things we can work on, really kind of flipping around, where now it feels like it's more kind of a pillow where you can just like relax. But if we can use that momentum and that very good welfare system to actually make the Danish entrepreneurs more, really willing to risk, that's amazing. And we have some very good initiatives in terms of, from the public side to actually promote entrepreneurship and put it in schools, investing in early stage companies. But I kind of feel, and this is something I've been kind of trying to lobby a little bit for a while, that what we often see here is that, with the public funds we have, they tend to invest in companies that are not really disruptive. So the sure successes, where you could put any other investor into it. Whereas, like, well, of course, there's never any sure, or certain successes, but still, like, what would be absolutely incredible here, since we have the system the way we have, where there's a lot of public money in investing, would be if the investors would be more willing to actually try to go to the companies that are like disruptive and more kind of a risky bet. Gather some of the startups in different hubs around, and then make the startups focus on, see Europe as actually a pretty common market. Even though there's cultural differences between Denmark, Germany, Spain, then it's still not like if you go to Asia and South America. So we're kind of alike here in Europe. And utilizing this and making it much easier for a company to launch something pan-European would be an absolutely incredible way to get something started. I think there's, of course, a bunch of things to be talked about regarding venture capital, regarding how can we put more EU money into all sorts of different funds and everything. But to be honest, I think this whole development would be much more powerful if it came from down there, if from European startups actually wanting to help each other out, which is one of the things that you see in Silicon Valley too. You find the more seasoned entrepreneurs helping out the young ones. If we have that here, if everybody kind of contributed to this together, if we kind of got this unanimous feeling of EU companies being something together, we would be a very powerful force to go out there and make some really help each other out, because it's a big market. There's a lot of very experienced people, but it kind of feels like there's, even within Europe, there's a big competition for being the ecosystem and this and that. Like it's too small to think of it like that.